Photosensitivity warning. This game has a lot of flashing lights, so if you're photosensitive at all, this is not the one to watch. I'm breaking with one of my secret arbitrary rules for this channel to cover an early access game, specifically the new hotness known as Vampire Survivors. This is not a review per se, more of a sneak peek at something I'm currently playing. I'm unsure how to categorize Vampire Survivors. It's like if a roguelike, a slot machine, an iPhone, and a bullet hell game merged into one unholy being. More than anything, Vampire Survivors is addicting to play for reasons we will go into later. But for starters, we're going to talk about the visuals. Vampire Survivors looks like a Flash game from 2005 made by someone who loves Castlevania. The visuals consist of 2D sprites on a static background. These sprites don't always match in style, are barely animated, and a couple of them are legally distinct, totally OC characters. On that note, most of the weapon sprites are suspiciously Castlevania-like. Beyond the sprites, Vampire Survivors features some good-looking particle effects and flashing lights on hits. However, these effects lead to a lot of visual clutter. There's a number of times where I can't quite tell what is happening on the screen, and it becomes very easy to lose track of your character in the madness. Possibly the best visual element of the game is the chest opening animations. I feel like I'm in Vegas when I get one. Overall, the visuals are functional, and that's all you should really expect from them. The audio is a mixed bag for me. The sound effects and music alone are actually pretty great. I think some of the tracks might be remixes of Castlevania songs, but I was never a big fan of the series, so I can't be sure. However, the sound effect layering is terrible. It's not so bad in the beginning, but as a run progresses, I find myself removing my headphones to escape the deluge of sound coming from them. I probably need to lower my sound a bit, but I personally think the devs should do another pass of the audio sooner or later. Overall, the presentation favors functionality over aesthetics. The real meat of Vampire Survivors is the gameplay. It's incredibly simple yet terrifyingly addictive. Your goal is to simply run out the clock while surviving waves of enemies. Your only real controls are WASD to walk around. Your weapons will auto-fire at a set interval. Your weapons will kill enemies, causing them to drop experience gems. These experience gems level you up. Leveling up grants you a choice between 3 different weapons or passive buffs to choose from. This includes items you already have, allowing you to upgrade your current roster. Different weapons and upgrades combine better with one another, creating a surprising amount of depth in the gameplay. And something about the combination of gameplay, sounds, and lights elicits high levels of dopamine from my primitive ape brain. The time limit is on average 30 minutes, so runs can take a long time if they're going well, but you are likely not going to get past the first couple of minutes on your first few runs. This is where the roguelike aspect comes in, but with a twist akin to Rogue Legacy. There's an upgrade section selectable on the main screen. Here you can spend gold earned in your runs on modifiers that will affect future runs. These include dealing more damage, earning a percentage more XP, healing over time, etc, etc. There is a refund button, and by some unholy power, it has no cost. This allows you to freely mix and match different modifiers as you see fit. There are even some unlockable gameplay mechanics that you get from the screen. Conversely, you can spend your gold on other characters who have their own modifiers and sometimes special weapons. They can sometimes get out of hand. My favorite so far has been Not Bayonetta. My best summary for the gameplay is that it creates that one more turn feeling in my frontal lobe. Like it's 1 AM, but I think if I get these weapons and upgrades, I might be able to evolve the Santa water on this next run. To me, that's a sign of an engaging game, for better or worse. While I could nitpick Vampire Survivors to death, I won't, out of the sheer reasoning that this game isn't finished yet. It is in early access after all. Not all of the content is there yet. Heck, some game mechanics are missing judging from the developer's roadmap. Honestly, I haven't even completed all of the available content either. At the time of recording, I only have about 14 hours in a game that appears as bottomless as Tartarus. My thoughts on this game are far from final. I mostly just wanted to share them and this game with others. In its current state, I would give Vampire Survivors a recommend, especially since it's only $3 at most. While I don't regret my purchase so far, I will say that others should at least exercise some caution. Vampire Survivors is an early access game after all. Any number of things can change between the version I have been playing and a potential release version. Early access is always going to be a crapshoot, and you have to know that going in. Sometimes even the most surefire games don't see a release version. $5 says that joke never stops being relevant. This will be one of those ultra rare occasions where I talk about a game in early access. I don't have much interest in covering all the endless survival crafting roguelike games out there. Next review will be out when it's done. It's going to be a strategy game this time. Thanks for watching.